All right guys, so today I have the 2019 Audi A7. This car is absolutely incredible. It's one of my favorite vehicles and I've been really wanting to review this thing. So in this video, it's gonna be a full in-depth review. I'm gonna show you everything about the exterior. We're gonna look at the interior. I'm gonna show you guys even what it looks like at night. And of course, we're gonna take it for a drive. So let's go ahead and see what this new A7 is all about. All right guys, so checking out the brand new Audi A7. Now, this color is called Triton Blue Metallic. And from where I'm standing right now, it looks straight up like it's just gray. But once you get a little bit closer to it, you can see a little bit of blue hues, a little bit of green hues in there. So it's a very, very subtle blue. If you're looking for a traditional blue, this is nowhere near that. It's Audi's version of blue. But either way, this tester that I have right now is priced at around $85,000. You guys can see the MSRP here on the screen. And that is a lot of money, but trust me, this is a lot of car and possibly one of the best luxury sedans I've ever driven. I'm not joking. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, new for this generation A7, you do have this brand new front end. It's a little bit lower to the ground. I love this new grille. I love the lights, by the way. The lights on here look incredible. Of course, they're full LEDs. This one has the laser lights, so what that means is at night, especially in a more rural area where I live, these are so incredibly bright. You can see so much, and that's one of the best parts about it. Of course, they do a nice little dance whenever you unlock the vehicle. It looks really cool, and I just love Audi's light technology. It's super, super incredible. Now, once you get a little bit closer, you are of course going to have your Audi rings right here. You've got this chrome bezel going around the outside right there. If I get a little bit closer, you can see you can have your Quattro badge right here. You've got your sensors. You do have functional vents here off to the side, so that is going to create an air curtain, feed air around the vehicle, just help it stay a little bit more aerodynamic and things like that. And then of course you're gonna have cameras and sensors all in there as well. Now, coming up to the hood, I love the hood design on this A7, just very, very aggressive. I'm not gonna lie though, at first glance, it kind of reminds me of like Ford Fusion, but obviously a higher quality version of that. Now, coming up to the side of the A7, this is a sharp looking vehicle. It just looks so gorgeous, so elegant, and I love that fastback design. It's definitely one of my favorite parts about the vehicle, especially if you look at it straight from the back angle. It has such an aggressive slope and I think it looks fantastic. The lines on here are super sharp and I just think it's a great looking vehicle. Now, the thing I'm not a fan of are these wheels. So you can get upgraded wheels, though these wheels look okay for most people. I just think that the machined alloy wheels would be a better option, especially with this color. Now then again, you know, if you want a more elegant, traditional luxury look, this is going to be that. If you want a sportier look, get the S-Line and that'll give you the nicer wheels and things like that. But as is, it doesn't look bad. It still gets tons and tons of compliments for sure. But personally, I would just like the other wheels. So these wheels are going to be wrapped in Michelin tires or 255/40s all the way around. So you do have a nice square setup. As you come down the body lines, it's just very simple, nothing too crazy going on here. Also, ignore my wife in the back seat. She's helping me film today, and it is 96 degrees. So out here sweating for you guys, but I love doing it, so it's not even an issue. Now, coming to the back, I do once again love that slant. You do have chrome going all around the windows. Now the back end is super tucked in, so it has this it almost reminds me of like a dog with its tail tucked underneath. It kind of has that sort of slope in the back of it. Now the lights back here of course are LEDs and they look awesome at night, especially when you unlock the vehicle. It does this incredible dance just like the front, but I think it looks way cooler, definitely very Tron-like. And when you do lock the vehicle, it does the same dance just backwards, and I think that's a pretty neat feature as well. Of course, you have your Audi rings right there. You do have a pop-up spoiler that comes up. It does come up once you go above like 80 miles an hour. The spoiler will come up automatically, or you have a button on the inside. You can just press that and the spoiler will come up, which looks really cool. All right, you guys, so here is your key for the Audi A7. It's a beautiful key fob. It's got your Audi symbol there, lock, unlock, trunk release, and then you have your panic button right at the top, so that does look really nice. But when you unlock it, you guys can see the lights do their nice little dance right there. So you can get in, of course, using the key, or if you go up to the door, you do have touch sensitive areas that you can push, and that is going to lock and unlock the vehicle. All right, so once the door is open for the Audi A7, now first of all, because it is the four-door coupe design, you don't have a bezel surrounding the window, so you get that really nice, almost coupe-like looking door, and that's one of my favorite parts about this style of sedan. Now coming to the door, you are going to have a lot of beautiful details. First of all, you've got this matte wood coming here, and it looks really, really nice. You're going to have some ambient lighting in here, and I'll talk more about that in just a second. Nice solid door handle here. It is electronic, so if you guys listen to this. So it's not a physical click on either of the door handles, inside or outside, so it is an electronic door handle, just no matter what. You're going to have your door locks right there. You've got memory seats here. It's super bright, so hopefully you guys can see that. And I love this full aluminum accent. It's gonna run all the way right here. You're going to have some Alcantara suede going right there. Looks really nice. Leather here with some white contrast stitching, and it feels really nice. It's got a good amount of give to it. Even up top, you're gonna have leather with stitching right up here. Decent amount of storage space, not too crazy. You do have a button here to open the hatch right down there. You're gonna have your corresponding buttons for your windows. You're gonna have your child door locks right there. You do have individual locks for each door, which is nice. And then your mirror control is located right here, and all the buttons are finished off in this really high quality aluminum, and it just looks really good. You have a door sill right down here. Now moving to the seats, you do have a really nice seat design, really high quality leather, which is to be expected in an Audi. You got some stitching there. You have some piping located right there at the top. You are going to have perforations here in the leather. You guys can see it's super, super supple. It just has a really nice feel to it. And then as you go up, you're gonna have perforations going all through the middle, more contrast stitching going all the way up to the top. But let's go ahead and hop in and check out the rest of the interior. All right, so once you're inside of the A7, shutting the door, so you guys can hear it got really quiet. There's tons of sound deadening in here, and so you'd expect as an Audi, it's gonna be extremely quiet. Now, the other cool thing is that this does have soft closed doors, so if you don't shut the door all the way, they will close the rest of the way for you. Now, because it's 99 degrees, go ahead and start the car, foot in the brake. You're gonna push this button right here to start. So you guys obviously heard that. That is the welcome sound when you get into the A7. Now, it's not normally that loud. I turned it up all the way so that way you guys can really hear what it sounds like. But it actually sounds really cool. It may be annoying for most people. I do have it turned on, but I have it turned down really low because it's kind of a nice little chime going on in the background when you have it at a lower volume. Or you can just turn it off completely. You can do that as well. Now, starting with the steering wheel on the A7. This is a good steering wheel, but in an industry that's going more to really thick, well-bolstered steering wheels, it is interesting to see one that's so thin, so narrow. So because it's so thin, so narrow, it makes the steering wheel feel very big. But because you have this big digital display here in the middle, it is nice that you have a big area to see through in your steering wheel. So this is Audi's virtual cockpit. If you guys have never heard of it, almost every Audi has it at this point in time. And it's really cool. So you can hit these buttons here on the steering wheel. It can make everything bigger. You can zoom in and out of this gigantic map here. You can scroll left and right, see different things like how much range you have left, what song is playing, and it's really simplistic to use. I love it. As we come up, we have a full leather stitch dash. You have the stitching coming right here. It's very prominent, real beautiful. You have your heads-up display, which is nice and crisp. It's very, very easy to see, and that is really nice to look at. I love heads-up displays. Probably one of my favorite modern features on any car. Now, as you come down here, you have this like dual layered screen setup. It's really neat. The only knock about it is that it has tons of gloss on here. So you have gloss piano black, and because of that, you have tons of fingerprints, tons of dust that comes up, and the rest of this car is super clean. This just makes it feel a little bit dirtier because you've got, you know, a little bit of like, I have a dog, so you've got like little stray dog hairs here and there, you've got dust, you've got fingerprints, and it just doesn't look great. So cleaning that would be a nightmare if you love having a clean car. But other than that, the systems work great. So this is its own entity right here. So you can go through, you can check weather on here, which is cool. So if you want to see the weather for the week, you can literally click that. It does take a second to load up, but then once it's loaded up, you can see all the weather for the week, which is great. You do have in-car Wi-Fi. which is awesome to have. If you click these vehicle settings, you've got tons of cool things here. One of my favorite things is the interior lighting. So you've got your normal lightings like Caribbean, which is like a turquoise, Vision, which is like a light yellow, Impulse, which is red. So you've got your solid colors, but this is one of the few vehicles I've seen that you can do 2 different colors. So my individual setting, because Audi does have a lot of cameos in Marvel movies, I have it set to red and blue. So this interior at night is, I call it the Spider-Man theme, but it looks incredible in this vehicle. The interior lighting is stunning, it is absolutely gorgeous, and it really makes this feel next level at night. Other cool things, if you go through these vehicle settings, let's see here, of course your exterior lighting, you can select your driving modes for like custom drive settings. But if you go to seats, so of course you have your heated and cooled seats, I'll get to that in just a second. You can adjust all your contours here, but then if you scroll to the right, you are going to have massage settings here with 3 different intensities. And you have that for both driver and passenger, which is incredible on long trips. That's pretty much it for this screen. Of course, you can do a little bit more in here, like adjust the audio for the Bang & Olufsen sound system, which sounds incredible. Now coming down to this screen, you can do the same thing by just clicking that seat there, and then your massage settings for the passenger will come up right there. You also have your fan speed right here, different zones right there. You can of course click up and down. This does have like a haptic feedback click. It's really neat just because it's the most convincing click I've ever seen on a touchscreen. It feels like you're clicking an actual button. But if you don't want to click up and down, all you do is swipe like that, and then you can just scroll up and down to adjust the temperature at a faster pace. You have this button here which will raise and lower the wing on the outside. You have this to turn the screen off, and then you have like your garage link settings, things like that. Heated and cooled seats are going to be right down here. 2 settings. Now they both come up at the same time, so I'm curious if maybe the heated and cooled seats can be on at the same time. I haven't tried them both because, like I said, it's 99 degrees here, so I'm not turning on those heated seats for anything. This is where it gets crazy though. So if I hit this camera view, so of course I've got my 360 view right here. I've got my front view, but then if I hit this button here, it's gonna warp the angle, which looks absolutely insane. I can do the same thing for the back. It's just such a crazy thing. The other crazy part is if I were to go back to, let's say, my rear view, and if I turn this steering wheel, you guys can see the camera turns with the steering wheel, but the camera doesn't physically turn because it already has the ability to do that 360 view. It just pans left and right. It's all software, so that's pretty nuts. Of course, you can see your wheels here since I'm next to a curb. So that is nice if you're getting next to a curb, but you do have your front and rear wheels. And then to take it a step further, you have your 3D view, which is a full view of the entire car. You can look at it from the side, but not only that, if you see the front wheels, if I turn the front wheels, it shows it turning. If I brake, you can see the brake lights coming on. It's so crazy. And of course, once you start moving, that will move as well. It's absolutely insane. You've got your volume here, you've got your cup holders right here. You've got this awesome shifter which is just covered in aluminum and leather. It feels so high quality. Your park button's gonna be right there. And then you're gonna push this button here off to the side. Pull back is gonna put you in drive. Push the button, pull forward to go into reverse. And you can just pull back once to go into neutral. Electronic parking brake. You got all this beautiful wood right here which looks incredible. Then coming to the armrest, you lift this up. You are going to have a wireless charging pad in here. I've got a cord in here because you do have Apple CarPlay. You have an SD card in there, LED light inside of here. And the armrest itself is pretty good size, so I can fit my arm on here. 2 people could definitely fit their arms in here without having to like wrestle for arm space. Now coming up to this dash, I love how the top of it is this beautiful, beautiful wood. And the cool part is this Quattro at night, when you adjust the interior illumination, that Quattro will actually illuminate with the colors that you have set, so that is pretty cool. Now coming up here, you do have a frameless mirror, which looks really nice. It's got a compass built in. Of course, it's auto dimming. You have touch sensitive lighting right up here, full LEDs, of course. And then you're gonna have this beautiful panoramic roof up here. So this roof is gorgeous. It's really well tinted, and on beautiful days like today, it's really nice to utilize. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the front seat. There's tons of great things about this. If I didn't mention it already, this has dual pane glass all the way around. So you have 2 layers of glass. You can see it right here on the screen, and that's what's gonna help keep it so quiet in here, of course, in addition to all the sound deadening. But let's go ahead and check out the back seat. All right, so sitting in the back of the Audi A7. Now I do have the seat set to my driving position. I don't have a ton of room back here. I have about an inch, maybe inch and a half back here. Not too much room at all. I am 6 feet tall and I've got big hair. So this sloping roof line does cut into my headroom a bit. So my hair is touching for sure. I barely have half an inch above my hair. You know, if you're above 6 feet tall, say if you're 6'2", 6'3", you're probably gonna be touching your head in the back of here because that slant is so aggressive on the outside. Once again, it does cut into your headroom. But if you are a little bit on the shorter side, or average height, you're gonna fit just fine back here. The only thing is that you do have a large hump here in the middle, so third passengers will not be very comfortable because they'll have to straddle this horse here in the middle. It is so huge, and it's definitely gonna cut into your room. Now you do have a touchscreen back here. You can adjust all of your settings back here. You have heated seats as well. You have some vents back here. You have 2 mat pockets. You're going to have some handles right here, a little area to put dry cleaning. And everything is pretty much the same quality as the front. My feet room is great, so my feet slide underneath, no problem. If I fold this down, you do have your cup holders here, but it is this interesting setup where it kind of folds in and out just like that, if you guys can see that. But you lift this up, you are going to have a little bit of storage space. The only thing is that you don't have very deep storage space. It's very, very shallow. So I'm gonna shut that right there. You do have 2 USB ports back here as well, and of course LED lights. So other than that, that's pretty much going to be it for this back seat area. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk. All right, so coming to the back of the A7, there is a button located here. Very simple. The lift gate goes right up. The best thing about having the liftgate though, I think, is versus a traditional sedan, you don't have to reach underneath. It's so easy to load, about as easy as having an SUV, and that's the best part about this vehicle, is if you love the practicality of an SUV, you get that with this, and of course you get the low, better handling characteristics that come with a sedan. So either way, coming through here, you do have 2 cargo covers located right here. You have a ton of space, so if you guys can see, I've got a TV back here just to show you guys how much room is back here. You can see the exact cubic feet on the screen if you want exact metrics on how much room is back here. Underneath here, you're not going to have any extra space, but you do have a full-size spare, and you have your subwoofer here for your Bang & Olufsen sound system. And then you're going to have a little bit of cubby space over here to the left. Of course, you have tethers here on the floor, so you can put nets and things like that. And you can also fold the seats down to get even more room. And at that point, it's just absolutely cavernous back here. But pretty much it for the interior. You have a button to close, and you have a button to close and lock if you just want to get something out of your trunk and then go back inside. So we'll go ahead and see what's under the hood. All right, so coming under the hood of the Audi A7, you are going to have a 3-liter turbocharged V6. It's going to make 335 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. Now the cool thing about this setup is it does have an extremely mild 48-volt hybrid setup. You can't even truly call it a hybrid because all it does is it just fills in at the very, very bottom to eliminate turbo lag, and it helps with the start-stop system. That is basically it. It doesn't really add any additional power that's noteworthy enough for Audi to put it on the spec sheet, but I did just want to throw that in there because I thought it was very interesting. Now this is going to be routed through a 7-speed dual clutch S-tronic, so unlike a lot of other Audis that are using the 8-speed, and this is going to have a true dual clutch, which is nice to see. That is going, of course, to all 4 wheels through Audi's iconic Quattro system. And even though it has all this stuff going on, it still gets pretty good fuel economy. So you're talking 22 in the city, 29 on the highway. And the fact that this has like an 18-gallon fuel tank, when Audi dropped this off to me, this had well over 500 miles of range. It is just absolutely insane how far this vehicle can travel. But let's go ahead and get this on the road and see how it does. All right, everyone, so driving the Audi A7. Now, this updated A7 is incredible. It's so good. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the dynamics. Partially because when you think of this car, the thing you don't think about is dynamics. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is definitely more capable than I thought, and you guys are about to see that literally in just a second. But when you think of an A7, you think of just luxury, you think of tech, you just think of what you want to get when you like retire. So you just think of this beautiful, gorgeous, high-tech offering that's extremely luxurious and comfortable on the road. And it is all of those things, as you will also see in just a second, but I want to show you how dynamically good this is because it's incredible. So here's what I'm gonna do. Well, first of all, I'm gonna pause the video so I can get at a different angle. All right, so same corner, I'm just going the opposite direction because the sun was absolutely blinding. But here's what I'm gonna do. So right now we are in dynamic mode, all the traction control is off, and I'm gonna show you just how capable this is because I was genuinely surprised. So I'm gonna do a quick little launch control. Oh, this thing books. Going into this corner super hard. A little bit of tire squeal, but of course the Quattro system does incredible. And for a big car, you guys can hear everything just flying around. It grips super hard. I was genuinely impressed. For how big this thing is, it's a really good handling vehicle. I mean, I was shocked. So there's that. That's about the extent of it. Can't get any crazier than that, really. But that just really gets me excited for like the upcoming S7, heck, the RS7. Those are gonna be fantastic cars. But since we are in dynamic mode, let's go ahead and talk about that. So like I said, 7-speed dual clutch, not the 8-speed Tiptronic like you're getting in a lot of Audis nowadays. This is the S-tronic 7-speed dual clutch. So what that means is gear changes are fast, lightning fast. Downshifts, super fast. One of the benefits of having a dual clutch. And I mean, this thing just goes. It really, really goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and brake. Brakes are really good. Sounds like there was a little bit of like warpedness there. I don't know what that was. It kind of felt shaky just a little bit. But anyways, let's go ahead and throw it back in normal mode. Now, since traction control is all the way off, launch control is very easy. Foot in the brake, floor it. Oh, there we go. And 60. Pretty good. Now, Audi says this will do about 5.2, 5.3 seconds, I believe. And as you guys can see, it was a little bit quicker than that. I think that was about maybe 5.1, maybe 5 seconds flat. I've seen articles from like Motor Trend and stuff where they're doing easily like a 4.6, 4.7. So this is a really quick car. It feels a lot quicker than the numbers will suggest. Typical of any Audi, Volkswagen Group, any German vehicle really. Now the other thing I do want to comment on is this 48-volt hybrid setup. It's so incredibly mild that Audi doesn't advertise this as a hybrid. That's how mild it is. So it basically just kicks in right at the very bottom. You can feel it when you're in dynamic mode. So what's gonna happen is when I floor it right now, you hear that whoop noise, if you guys can hear that. You hear that whoop noise, if you guys can hear that. That's the little bit of that electricity kicking in just before the turbo hits. It's not super quick, significant, like a fully electric vehicle. It doesn't give you that super instant torque hit. It's just a filler. So it makes the acceleration feel very linear, when in reality, you should have a good amount of turbo lag coming from this engine. And you do feel the turbo lag when you're in comfort mode. So if I'm in comfort mode right now, so I'll go ahead and switch over, turn traction back on, and then you floor it, then it kicks in. So you don't have the electric motor working as well as you do in dynamic mode. So you do give that up. At least that's what I've experienced from my driving impressions. I don't know if that's actually what happens, but from the seat of my pants, that's what it feels like happens, because it definitely doesn't have that same pickup response as it does in dynamic. And obviously that's how it should be. Other than that, amenities are great. So I'm literally getting a seat massage as we speak. This entire time I've been driving it that way, I've been getting a seat massage, which is just, it's just crazy that cars do that nowadays. It's very quiet in here, so you guys probably have no trouble hearing me. The only thing you can probably hear is the AC, which is on its absolute lowest setting. Maybe you can hear that, but I mean, it's so quiet in here. It's absolutely insane. Visibility is pretty good, so the mirrors are nice and large. Visibility out the back isn't as bad as you guys would think. It's actually pretty decent. Pretty big windshield. You don't have a ton of blind spots really. It's just that the back of the vehicle lifts up a bit so you can't see like down. So if the windows were to go a little bit lower, visibility would not be an issue whatsoever. So there is that. But either way, guys, that's pretty much gonna wrap up my impressions of the Audi A7. Let me know what you think about this vehicle. Would you get this over an A6? Or if you're just in the market in general, would you get this over like the CLS? Would you get this over the competition? And let me know in the comment section below. Comment below, I want to hear all you guys' thoughts. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe if you like my reviews. I try to post reviews as often as I can, and I also do polls because I want to know what you guys want to see, because I only want to review what you guys want to see. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.